Ladies and gentlemen, good day and welcome to the Rajoo Engineers Limited Q3 and 9 months FY22 earnings conference call. As a reminder, all participant lines will be in the listen-only mode, and there will be an opportunity for you to ask questions after the presentation concludes. Should you need assistance during the conference, please signal an operator by pressing star, then 0 on your touchtone telephone. I now hand the conference over to Mrs. Khushbu Chandrakant Doshi from Rajoo Engineers Limited. Thank you, and over to you, ma'am.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Rajoo Engineers Limited earnings conference call for the third quarter and 9 months ended on 31st December 21. I thank you for taking your time out and joining us today to discuss the financials and the business performance. I have with me Mr. Utsav Kishore Doshi, Joint Managing Director. We have Mr. Sunil Jain, our Executive Director and President, Mr. Jayantilal Dalavaria, CFO, Mr. Prakash Daga, Vice President Finance, and Bridge Investor Relations team. We have shared our result updated presentation and media release yesterday, so I hope you all must have received it and gone through the same. Before we get into the business and financial performance of the third quarter, I would like to share a brief insight about our company. I am happy to share that today we have emerged as one of the leading plastic extrusion machinery manufacturers across the globe, with nearly 35 years of excellence in extrusion in the industry. Owing to our focused efforts, the company enjoys a premium market position in this segment. In line with our strategy, we continue to expand our global footprint with focus on market penetration and sustained investment in this segment to support the progress. Being a technology-driven company, product innovation, world-class quality, state-of-the-art workmanship, and energy efficient and high level of sophistication and automation have become the hallmark of Rajoo's product during all these years, thereby positioning our product on a global platform, competing with established world leaders. With representation in many countries across the world and customers spread over 70 plus countries, our exports are multiplied since debuting in international market in 1990. Our brand reliability and position in the global market.
I'm really sorry to interrupt. Your audio is breaking, ma'am.
Is it audible now?
Yes, it's better. Thank you.
Yeah. Our brand reliability and position in the global market is further encouraged through a number of strong alliances in the industry, such as with Concall Industries for extrusion coating and lamination machines, Mees, which is a Netherlands-based company for sheet extrusion system, Bauzano and Figley for pipe machineries, and a Wonderpack for the thermoforming machineries. It is an industry practice to build machines with a client specification to have competitive advantage. However, Rajoo, we have always been pioneers of change and innovation by identifying the right technology and its mix to add value to clients' businesses. We are being appreciated by loyalists in the business for the appropriate technology approach to consistently help customers' business with customized solutions rather than following the traditional approach. Now, coming back to our financial performance, in quarter ended 31st December 21, our company achieved the net revenue of 42.43 crore, a slight increase in nearly 1% year-on-year. While domestic as well as export sales grew this quarter, revenue growth was marginal, mainly due to company's focus was on a business sustainability considering the uncertainties around. Despite volatility and increase in the raw material prices and higher employee cost, company has managed to maintain EBITDA margin and improve PAT margin. Also, the lifting of the machine was comparatively higher in Q3 as certain delayed deliveries of the machine during first 2 quarters because of the pandemic has been executed during third quarter. The EBITDA stood at rupees 5.4 crore in Q3 FY22 as against 5.39 in previous corresponding period. The marginal growth of 0.33% YOY. Improved operational efficiencies were partially offset by higher VAT and GST input balance write-off, which put pressure on EBITDA margin. Profit after tax was rupees 3.29 crore in Q3 FY22 compared to 3.3 crore in FY21 Q3. Margin stood 7.75%. Coming to the 9-month financial performance, revenue from the operation in 9 months FY22 is 112.37 crore as against 95 crores in the corresponding year. Year on year, we have registered a 17.40% of growth in the total revenue. The EBITDA stood at rupees 12.61 crore in 9 months FY22 as against last year's 12.48 crore. Increase 1.09% of growth YOY. EBITDA margin was 12.23, a decrease of 178 BPS YOY mainly due to volatile raw material costs resulting in pressure on margins for 9 months FY22. Profit after tax was 7.69 crore in 9 months FY22 compared to 7.05 crore in the corresponding year. And the PAT margin was at 6.85, a decrease of 50 BPS YOY. Basic EPS stood at rupees 1.25 in 9 months FY22 as compared to rupees 1.15. As the impact of pandemic decreasing gradually, there has been an increase in the adoption of packaged food and thereby the extruded plastic products, which has triggered demand for plastic extrusion machinery. We are now focusing on identifying just the right technologies and mix to add to our clients' business. Going into the fourth quarter, we are witnessing gradual recovery in the market after the impact of the third wave of the pandemic. Consumer sentiment in India and overseas market is encouraging. So we are seeing a better margin by the end of quarter 4. Thank you very much. We shall now take the questions, please.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, we will now begin the question and answer session. Anyone who wishes to ask a question may enter star and 1 on their touchtone telephone. If your questions have been answered and you wish to withdraw yourself from the queue, you may enter star and 2. Participants are requested to use handsets while asking a question. Ladies and gentlemen, we will wait for a moment while the question queue assembles. To ask a question, you may enter star and 1. We have the first question from the line of R.K. Ladha from Yash Investments. Please go ahead.
Thank you, madam, for giving me the opportunity. I just want to get clarification on something.
Yes,
that as I have seen for our competitor, that is Cabra Extrusion Techniques, that they have gone in other activities like battery making, or is it viable for us also?
Yeah, I mean, it is viable for anybody. Yeah, of course, they have different product segment where we believe in having the focus efforts on where exactly we are on. So we end up with a new project and new development, which gives a sustainable growth to the company, but not considering the battery as of now. But yeah, it is a viable option.
Okay, and madam, another question is, I just read about a company which is making some forays in lithium-ion battery wrapping solutions.
Right.
Is it possible for us also to give supply anything to which is connected to EVs or
no?
batteries?
Right. So from the existing infrastructure, no, it is altogether a different project. And also, if we talk about other market companions who are in this league, they are having a different setup. They are not supplying this particular thing from the extrusion setup.
Okay, and I have just gone through a report that as we can make plastic pipe machines, is it
right.
possible for us to make a film making machines also?
Yes, sir. We are also producing film making machines.
Right. Currently, are we producing or we are going to produce?
No, we are producing film making. Blown film plants we are producing, sir.
Okay. And madam,
that
only
is,
one?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Yes, go ahead.
So that is bread and butter kind of a product. So yeah, we are into, apart from pipe, we are into film as well. Film and sheet both.
Okay. And just my one request that instead of these market timings, if you can keep your Concall timings other than market timings, means after 3:30, I think that participation may increase. This is just a kind.
Thank you. And you will see at Raju, we believe in taking feedback and, implementing. So this is well noted, and the next time we will able to offer you a better convenient times.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, and all the best for the future of Raju, and vis-a-vis and with as an investor, it is good for us also. Okay.
Sure, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, to ask a question, you may enter star and 1. We have the next question from the line of Krisha Mehta, an investor. Please go ahead. Ms. Krisha Mehta, your line has been unmuted. Please go ahead.
Hello.
Yes, please go ahead.
Good morning, ma'am. I have a couple of questions.
Please. Good morning.
Ma'am, like from a revenue point of view, we see that revenue on QOQ basis has increased, but YOY basis there's very marginal increase. Can you please throw some light on that?
Yeah. Mr. Jain, would you like to take this?
Hello. Shall I take this question, ma'am?
Yeah. Please.
Yeah. See, income from operations on quarter-on-quarter basis has increased by 14.65%. As the company is executing the orders with revised prices, realizing higher values of the machine. Also, the export sales contribution during the quarter 3 was somewhere around 55%, as against 46.67% during the first 2 quarters. So, and if you talk about YOY basis, it shows increase only by 6.63%. Since during corresponding previous quarter, the listing of machines was comparatively high. As certain delayed deliveries of machines during the first 2 quarters, which had been badly affected by COVID previous year, and they had been executed during the quarter. So comparatively, during the corresponding quarter of the previous year, the operational income seems to be high. But on YOY basis, if you see, then this current year we have reporting a growth of almost 0.63%.
So, sir, assuming last year our exports would also have been affected. This year, as you said, we had exports of 55%.
Yes.
So, from which regions, which are the major exporting regions for us?
We are exporting across the globe. Just to summarize, our exports from different regions contribute, like East African countries 12%, West Africa somewhere around 17%. Then Southern Africa, it is 14%. Then European and UK countries, and UK has contributed almost around 34%. And the other neighboring countries remaining 23%. So this is how it has been totally achieved.
So further to this, are we planning any expansion for exports? Are we targeting to enter any new geographies?
Mr. Jain, would you like to take?
Yeah, let me come in there. Good morning. We are looking at new territories, specifically Latin American countries, CIS countries, and Europe as well.
So do we have like any plan in place for that? By when are we going to start those exports, or how do we plan?
We have already started exports. As Prakash had mentioned, we have already supplied some machines to Europe. And in the past, we have also supplied machines in the CIS countries, specifically to Russia and Ukraine. But now we will be focusing more in these territories. We've also supplied a machine to Ecuador last year. And before that, we were anyway very active in the Latin American market. And this year, it will be with renewed efforts.
Okay. So my next question is related to the interest cost, which has gone down. So have we done any debt repayment?
Yes. See, the interest cost has gone down by 70% on your own basis. Practically, we are not using any working capital finance since we have sufficient liquidity on hand. But the interest cost has been reduced due to the increase in principal amount of the term loan, which is paid on quarter-on-quarter basis. The installments are paid. And because of that, the interest cost has gone gradually reduced.
Okay. Sir, so coming to our strategic question, so there's like current increase in demand from packaging. So till when do we expect that demand to sustain?
Mr. Jain, would you?
Yeah, let me come in there. We believe that the exponential part of it will continue this year, and after that it should stabilize. And the reason is because there is so much of work from home activity taking place. So there's a demand for packaged foods, which has gone up during the pandemic, and it will still continue within this year. And after that, it should stabilize. When I say stabilize, it will continue at the normal growth levels instead of the exponential growth this year.
So,
does that answer your question?
Yeah, it does. So, sir, is it okay to say that it will hamper our revenue in any way?
It will not hamper because we are looking at other geographies to increase our revenue. We're not just dependent on this particular segment as well.
Right. Okay. So, sir, then what would be our current capacity utilization of the plant like now that the demand is a little higher? So, what is the current capacity utilization of the plant?
It is around 80%. Earlier it was last year, last 3 years, it has always been a 65 to 70% of the capacity utilization. Now we have reached at 80% of the utilization.
Okay. And my last question is in terms of, can you throw some light on our full year numbers, like any guidance for the same, and what will be our growth plan for the next 3 to 5 years?
For this year, the main company's focus was on the sustainability because there was a lot of uncertainty around. Unfortunately, we would be able to register a sustainable growth around say 12 to 15% in the range of. And for the coming years, we also have some new product development in the pipeline where we see that we will be more focusing on retailers. And with that product, we see some numbers coming in.
So then, do we have any new products that we're planning to launch anytime soon?
Probably in the next year.
Okay, fine. Thank you so much, and good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you. Participants, if you have questions, please enter star and 1. We have the next question from the line of Rohan Mehta, an investor. Please go ahead.
Yeah, good morning, everybody. I just wanted to ask some questions regarding this recent union budget that came out. It seemed to, lay a lot of stress on capital asset formation. So, what would your views be on that? I mean, if there's anything in store for us, or do we stand to benefit from this?
Prakash Bhai, would you like to take this?
Let me come in there, Kushbu.
Yeah, please.
You see, the government is planning a huge amount of capex, and the capex would, as we understand, the government would bring it more in terms of infrastructure and agriculture. And today we have machines which produce for this particular market segment. Whether we talk about tarpaulin, we talk about geomembrane. So we do expect that when this capex is actually implemented, it should definitely help us in increasing our revenue. Does that answer your question?
Yes, sir. That's what I wanted to get clarity about the capex cycle that companies like ours would, go through. And about the PLI also, is there any benefit there for the company, the PLI scheme?
The PLI scheme has not yet been implemented for our industry.
Okay, but would we be looking at opting for it once it comes into implementation?
We will look at it definitely.
Okay. So, is there any sort of a rough plan about capex in the coming financial year, sir?
Khushbu, would you like to take that?
Yeah, there would be a capex considering the further growth, and mainly it would be on a tooling side, not on a land and building. So yeah, it would be for the tooling side that nowadays the market is getting competitive, and the tools which are used to produce such a heavy assemblies and machineries, we have to sharpen that. And we had that kind of a capex 4 years back. So yeah, for the next year it is anyway due.
So any ballpark figure that you could guide us with, ma'am?
It would be around 8 to 10 CR.
Okay, I see. So, ma'am, is it will our number of machines that we are selling will by what magnitude can we expect that they would increase?
Yeah. So currently the average machine which we are selling is around 120. So focusing more on it would not give you a right scenario if we talk about the number of machines, but focusing more on a high value, high output machines. And for that you need a different set of infrastructure. So that is the something which we are targeting for coming years.
Got it, ma'am. And so the new machines, and you mentioned in the previous answers also that some new products are also in the pipeline. So this more capacity that would come in would include new products as well, or all of it would be new products, or existing machinery would also be included in the new capacity that would be added?
The existing machinery also will be included.
Okay. So if you could just throw some light on which new end applications we are looking at when you launch new products next year.
Basically, mainly focusing on the renewable energies. So there are few elements when the entire solar panel gets manufactured, which comes from the plastic extrusion machinery, and that's where our strength is. So we are targeting to have the machines for such application.
Okay. And your views about the woven sack and the raffia industry, is that going to be like a high demand for us?
Yeah, Mr. Jain, your favorite subject, if you would like to talk about.
See, the demand for raffia continues. And just for information, recently we came to know that some industries are not really using the raffia bags conforming to BIS standards, and they will be asked to use. So I'm not going to specifically name which industry. So the demand for raffia will continue because it's basically to do with bulk packaging, and raffia caters to bulk packaging both within India as well as overseas. So we expect that segment to really grow quite rapidly.
Raw material price has been a sort of a pain point for us since a long time, and not just us. It's an industry-wide problem that has been there. But I believe it is relatively, is it stabilizing? Do you see it stabilizing, or is it going to continue?
It is stabilizing, but looking at the current situation which is going on in Europe, with the crude going up, one cannot really predict.
Okay, sir. And sir, I believe you mentioned that we've also increased prices of our products. So this is going to be a one-time, or are we in a position to negotiate another price rise in the next, maybe say 6 months or some time like that?
I think that's a continuous process which has to be monitored very closely, because the whole cycle of capital equipment is so long that
right.
If you implement something right now, it may take 7 to 8 months to really get effective.
Okay. But it's an option open. We can.
It is absolutely an option.
All right, sir. So like this year on year, like you mentioned, revenue and profit margins were relatively flattish. We can expect it to increase, like since last year was affected by COVID. So now, I guess the growth we can expect a sort of a higher uptick in growth.
We always, everyone, we need to continue to be optimistic.
Right. Right. All right, sir. And just my last question was, since you mentioned LATAM and a lot of areas are looking good for our export markets, is there a sort of a good ratio that you have internal target as to how much should come from export or something like that, or is it there's no such target as such?
No, we do have currently, if I remember correctly, about 47 to 48% is exports, and we want to continue with that and even try to increase it.
Okay. Got it. All right, sir. Thank you, everybody, for taking my
You're
questions.
welcome.
If I have more, I'll join back, and all the best.
Sure.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, to ask a question, you may enter star and 1. We have the next question from the line of Aniket Redkar, an investor. Please go ahead.
Good afternoon, everyone. Hello.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, ma'am, I have a couple of questions. Yeah, can I get the export numbers? I mean, which regions we targeting most, and which are the regions? I mean, we are getting more orders from which region? So can I get the export number for that?
Sure. I think you missed that. Mr. Daga explained very well, but let me repeat for the given benefit. So we are targeting East Africa, West Africa, South Africa, Europe and UK, and other Asia Pacific neighboring countries. And the total exports then is like 48 to 49%. And of that, the Europe has contributed more, which is 34%, and that is in the market
This is
5 years.
I'm really sorry
Hello?
to interrupt. Your audio is
Sorry.
breaking, ma'am.
Okay. Is it audible now? Is it audible now?
Yes, it's better.
Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, this is how the export looks like. And further going ahead, our target in the market would be Latin America, CIA.
Hello. Hello. Yeah. Hello.
I am not sure. Khushbu, are you there? She dropped.
Yeah.
Ma'am, your voice is breaking.
Yeah, sorry for the disturbance. Mr. Jain, can you take this? In the meantime, I'll just fix it.
Okay. I think what Mrs. Doshi was talking about the quarter-to-quarter figures, but if I look at the 9 months of this year, our exports have been about 47%. Out of that, East Africa is about 12%. When we talk about East Africa, we're talking about Uganda, Tanzania, Kenya. Then West Africa is about 37%, basically Ghana and Nigeria. Then Southern Africa is about 6%. Then Southeast Asia is about 30%. We are talking about Vietnam, Malaysia, and Nepal. Then Europe and UK has been about 15%.
Okay. So, sir, my question is related to the machinery. The machinery which we manufacture, machinery or twin screw machinery?
Sorry. Can you repeat that? We lost your one word.
Yeah. The machinery which we manufacture right now, that are a single screw machinery or twin screw machinery?
Okay, let me clarify. Currently, whatever products which are being done in Rajoo engineers are all single screw.
Okay.
And twin screw is used for PVC, which is being done in our sister company, which is basically for PVC. In Rajoo engineers, it's only single screw.
Okay.
Let me clarify. There are certain products with twin screw also, but that's very few. If we talk about polyester, that is with twin screw. Rest everything is with single screw.
Okay. So, sir, is there any new product development? I mean, are we diversifying or increasing our product portfolio? Hello.
Are you back?
Yeah.
I mean, So, we are not actually increasing product portfolio. In fact, we are consolidating the product portfolio. Our focus. But yeah, what we are targeting and what you can call new thing is we are targeting a new application from the existing product portfolio.
Okay. Okay. And the land which we have purchased, have we started the production over there, or when can we expect the production?
No, we have not yet started any kind of production over there. It is the plans are on the paper, and yeah, so probably next year we will be thinking about that.
Okay. Okay. And what is our current capacity utilization right now?
This year it would be around 75%.
Okay. 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 And ma'am, this quarter we have seen the marginal growth in terms of YOY basis, but QOQ basis it looks good. So what would be the EBITDA margins and the revenue for the next quarter? It would be the same, or it would be a change? Just we have revised the prices, the raw material prices and everything.
Right. Where would you like to take this?
Yeah. So, see, the EBITDA margins and if you talk about revenue growth, as this Mrs. Doshi said, we will be closing this year reporting revenue growth almost somewhere around between 12 to 15%. So, corresponding, there might be a slight increase in the EBITDA margin. But yeah, top line will definitely somewhere report of growth will be 12 to 15%.
Okay. Okay. Okay, sir. Thank you so much, sir. This is from my side.
Thank you. Participants, if you have a question, you may enter star and 1. Ladies and gentlemen, to ask a question, you may enter star and 1. To ask a question, you may enter star and 1. As there are no further questions from participants, I would like to hand the conference back to Mrs. Khushbu Chandrakant Doshi for closing comments. Please go ahead, ma'am.
So I would like to thank you for taking the time out and attending this call. I'm also thankful to each member of Rajoo Engineers who has joined and helped in answering things, and as well as our clients, creditors, banks, financial institutes, and rest of the stakeholders. Once again, thank you very much for taking the time out. For any further questions or information, please get in touch with our investor relations and we'll be able to back with us. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, members of the management. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Rajoo Engineers Limited, that concludes this conference. Thank you for joining us, and you may now disconnect your lines. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.